Hello, Shanna Work from Black Boots. Y'all, I had big dreams of having my hair and makeup done for this video. Instead, I've got freshly dyed, soaking wet hair and no makeup, but that's okay. Because today I want to tell you about my readings and what is going on with this astral workshop. I thought I would just tell you a little bit about what I do, why I do it, how I got here, and that would just kind of explain things a little more clearly than I can like type them out. So yeah, I've had intuitive dreams my whole life. Some of the most vivid ones would always happen with people like that I worked with. So it was like kind of like one person removed. Like we'd see a lot of each other, but we weren't like super close friends. And I've told this story like a million times, but one of the biggest ones was like having a dream about my friend that I worked with coming into work and saying, oh my God, where's so-and-so? Like, I got to warn them of something. They're like, what are you talking about? They're like, they're not here. You didn't hear why they're not at work today? I'm like, no, what happened? They're like, they got into an accident. They're in the hospital. I'm like, all right. That was my dream. It happened as it was happening. And it was a lot of those types of things. It was like dreaming about somebody at work having like an issue with their landlord and the locks on their door, and me coming to them and being like, listen, I know I don't know you very well, but like, here's what I got. And I'd be like, how do you know that? Yeah, so that was it. That was like my whole life. Since moving to the country and moving to the woods, I've really like focused in on my spiritual practice, my just kind of everything, the way that I was connected to things. And that involved a daily meditation practice. And a couple of years ago, it was during the New Year's meditation, like New Year's Day, my guides came in, which is like your kind of team from beyond. If you don't know anything about that, we can talk about that later. But anyways, my team kind of came into me during this meditation and was like, hey, you know that thing that you do in the dream space? Well, here's how you do it in waking life. And I was like, cool. Okay. Whoosh. It was like big, and it was like all of a sudden it was like, you know how to do this shit. And I started testing it out a little bit, as you know, one does. And yeah, there was like a way that I was doing things, and it ended up being something that started to affect me physically. I went into a reading with someone, and even talking about it, my throat's getting weird. They were trying to leave an abusive relationship where the person would strangle them, and I was like feeling it. I was like, what is going on with your throat? She's like, oh yeah, my abuser strangles me. I'm like, all right. So that led me into getting a mentor, into finding community with this thing, because I knew that if I was going to keep doing it, that it was going to affect my physical body too much. So for the past year, I've been in training with, actually like started off as like my mentor here locally, working with them in a women's group for about 1.5 years. And then I ended up working with her teacher for the past year. And that's where, you know, I learned to read from different parts of my body instead of like taking it in and like feeling everything. I learned to put up the boundaries and like learned all of that. And so when someone works with me, it's kind of like reading tarot, but without the tarot cards. I can just go into trance, I set the space, I bring someone in, and I use sort of like the chakra system and their body to kind of like read the energy of what is going on. It just comes to me. I see it very visually. I also smell it a lot, which is fun, not fun sometimes, because some of y'all stink, and some of my energy stinks too, let me just tell you. It's like a weird one. But because I was doing so much in the astral, that's where doing these astral readings for people and being able to follow and watch like what they're doing when they go to sleep is just came super easily to me. I'm also, as we all have, a lot of childhood trauma. And that trauma resulted in me dissociating from my body a lot, which ends up being kind of a helpful thing because I can travel really easily. I can get out really easily. Now I can come back in easier. I have a lot of practices. I have to do this shit daily. I have to do it daily. And if I don't, I start getting ailments. I start feeling things in people. I start, I had a friend, 2 friends actually, that had like this shoulder thing. Like one of them actually had to get surgery. Another one was just having the shoulder thing. I started trying to take that on and I was having shoulder things. So it's just stuff like that that I now know that I need to do my practices daily. And so I really understand and know how to teach other people this stuff. And I'm only teaching it because it works for me. Like my life has changed dramatically over the past couple of years. And just from like an energetic level, from a mental health level, from just me as a person. So that's why on November 4th, I have this Astral and Dreamspace Workshop coming up, and it's going to be a virtual workshop, and it's going to be me kind of talking about what I do and talking about what I do nightly. I'm telling you, I do this shit every single freaking night. Otherwise, it's not okay, because when you start doing this work, you suddenly become this like lighthouse for things. So there's a lot of work that you have to do around that. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the tools, talk about how I got here, talk about what it does for me, how I manifest, how I bring things in, how I just have more intentional and just control over what I do. And yeah, and then I'm gonna bring you into trance, and we're gonna clean out our room that we sleep in for the majority of the time. We're gonna set our space, like literally, I'm gonna give you the tools to like set your space so that you're like protected. And yeah, we're gonna clean out the astral bodies. We're gonna look at your astral door, and then I'm gonna pull you out so that you can travel a little bit. We're not gonna go super, super far, probably go just from higher self into the astral body, so like 2, maybe 3 layers. I'm gonna feel it out just to sort of see where people are at when we get you in there. And yeah, and then of course I'm gonna help you come back in. It also really helps, I've noticed, with like feeling groggy in the morning. I've got to call all my energy back in. I'm not saying that some people aren't morning people, some people are morning people. I'm a morning person. But it will kind of help. Also, it should help you get to sleep. So these are the type of things that I want to talk about. So I'm going to have this one. This is on November 4th. I'm having it 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time. So it's later in the evening, but also good enough for people, because I know that I've got a bunch of people on the West Coast too. So I wanted to time-wise get it there. I think I will record it. I haven't figured out the logistics of how I'm going to send it out, but I'm going to make a recording. So that'll be available. Either I'll put it up on YouTube or something. I'll figure that out. Oh, and then there'll be a way for you to just type any questions into the chat, and I'll answer any questions at the end. So that's what that's all about. I'm asking $33.33 because I want to give you a nice little synchronicity number. And yeah, so you can sign up for that soon. Again, it's going to be over Zoom, November 4th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I've got, if you want to just go ahead and start and book a reading with me, I've got a couple different offerings up on my page, and I'll put the link to that in this as well. But you know where to find me. You can sign up for a link if you're local. I've got a local day coming up in November, and that'll be a little bit more consistently. So all that's to come. You can find me. So thanks for reading. No, thanks for watching this. I'm gonna go blow dry my hair and run to the grocery store so I can get to bed early, because I'm leaving for LA in the morning. Holy shit, y'all. I'm doing it. All right. I will see you at my astral workshop, hopefully. I will. I think you will. And yeah, I'm excited to work with you because I think it's going to be pretty fun. We could do a little dance or not.